And here we
All
are, the
right.
Mark Hope Show. We are testing our crap with Professor Tony. So this is
Oh my God.
not going to be good. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun, but it's not going to be professional.
Well,
And that's my
that's
fault.
okay. So hang on. Uh-oh. So now it's doing something else. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. All right.
What is
So
that?
this is my iPhone camera and do you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, so watch. So now with my iPhone camera on our live stream, I can come back here, right? And I can
Right.
show you my studio. Now I can't see it, but can you see and hear me?
You could do a man on the street interview with this.
Well, I got to be within Wi-Fi distance, so I can only go so far. But
But this is where
yeah,
you do
so
the chef deal.
yeah, I did my chef deal, and then I put the curtains up there, and I do the product stuff in here. I got it got a different variety of arms and lighting setups and that kind of stuff. And so the chef deal, if I get back here, I've got down here below it, I've got a green screen and then the white curtain, which when I darken it down, it goes into the grays, and then my stand-in mannequin, and uh, and so it just gets kind of you know this is it. I used to do the stand-up real estate stuff in there. I don't know if you can see because I
Yeah, I'm
can't
just
see what.
looking at a blurred out version of your
Oh,
desk.
so
Can you
there's
not see
no
that you're
so the
broadcasting?
signal dropped. I see. Okay, so uh, all right, so it wasn't showing you anything. All right, let me get back to. All right, so
All right, you're
uh,
back.
so that answers that. But the iPhone feed, did you see it for a little bit? Was you able to see the studio, or um, did you did it drop out?
I saw some of it, but then it dropped out.
Yeah, it dropped out. So what happens is it starts out okay, and then if you get then all of a sudden the Wi-Fi connection drops and doesn't work. But better than nothing. So which camera? I'm going to here. So okay, good. So I see you. I see me. And so now, do you see comments from people as they come in? On you should see it.
We can do that.
Yeah, because then they'll show up in the chat. That's how the Ecamm. Like I'm running through. It's like a desktop version of Restream. It's called Ecamm, and it feeds. It feeds
Can you see
to
that
the.
chat overlay now?
Yeah, right. No, that's cool. That's cool. So, and actually, I've got some room to widen out, so I'm not crowding the frame here. Um, there we go. Um, and everything's flipped the right way, and the audio sounds okay though, huh? I mean, because I'm
That sounds
using,
good.
dude, I'm using this plugged into my computer. I'm going to switch to the desktop mic.
Now, what
So
do I
this,
got to do to get my crispness on my um to look like yours?
to look or sound,
See, I'm kind of washed out and blurry.
right?
What
So
tips do you have for me to look
let me
better?
see if I can get to this camera again because I can show you why. Well, all right, so let's see. There we go. So what I have, um, do you see this bit? Let me see if I can
Hey,
get.
give me a second. Yeah, I think I have a lighting nightmare going on.
Yeah, well, here I just use one light. Well, two, actually, I've got a little China ball light that's just acting as a fill. But I got one light that I turn on that's what we call a key light. Let me switch back here. And And so, all right, let's
Should I get
disconnect.
one of those?
Well, if you want, the thing is, now this was older. Like I was doing that when I lit up my green screen. Actually, let me get to the right dang camera here. In that room I was showing you, I would use these big soft lights. I got them for like, I don't know, $80 on eBay or something. And but I'm telling you right now, man, some of these little LED lights. Now I'm going to turn the big light off and show you. You can probably get one of these. The big light's set up because that's the way when we were doing our live streams during COVID. But you know, I got this is like a little $14 light, dude, and it'll last an hour, and it's battery operated and stuff, and so and I can move it around and I can adjust its intensity so it's kind of hot there now. But see, I can get to that same thing. It's not as soft, right? And I could put a
What are you using for your camera right now? Maybe I need to upgrade that.
well, now here's the thing. I've got three. Let me turn this off. Um, but this, I gotta tell you, you get a few of these things, and dude, man, you're like, you know,
Yeah.
I just get blown away. Now the thing is, they last about an hour, right, on battery charge. But I've got a little cheap webcam, and that's actually in my link tree. It's just like a $30, $40 4K webcam that I'm running through, and then I've got this is my old DSLR, but I got to tell you, man, it's getting antiquated, and I can't manipulate it anymore because I updated the software and Canon won't update it, and so, and then it doesn't, like if I go here, it won't autofocus.
Well, mine is in 720p, it says.
Yeah, you
Is
want to
that
be.
why?
That is, let's go. Let's step down from. So right now you're looking at a camera that's originating in 4K, right? So let's just step down in resolutions, okay? 8K is a new thing, right? And so that's 8,000 pixels across. Bear with me here a second. Stepping down is 4K. That's what seems to be par now. But for the web, 1080p, so 1920 by 1080, which is the regular high def, is kind of par for the course. 720p is a smaller resolution. It's still considered high def, but it's not quite there. Now, as you go up in resolution, you will see that the sharpness of the image gets a little bit better. There's some other things that go along with it. But now this little camera, it's called an eMeet something, man. And if I've got a Linktree link, and I've got it linked up in there because you can get it on Amazon, or you can get it on TikTok Shop too. I think I've got it in my, I don't know where I got, but like this little 4K webcam, and see how it'll focus like the iPhone camera, change focus and go back. I'm like, it's there. So the thing that's causing your image. Now you're going through Restream app, or are you going through the Restream web for your image
Web.
for the web? So if you have
But it
access
doesn't
to
allow me anything but 720 for some reason.
huh?
And I'm
Are you
using
on a
the
Mac or PC?
webcam C920.
C920. Well, that should be. I think that's um, that's like a 4K webcam.
No, it's 1080.
Oh, Logitech. Okay, C920. Yeah. Well, thing is, the webcams are not going to be as. Let me see if I can find the link here. Did I have this linked in my link tree? Trying to see, because am I able to put a message up on the chat?
You should be able to.
Let me see it. Content creators. Where the hell did I have it? Underwater. Other hot tickets. There it is. The eMeet Nova 4K. All right, now let's share this. Bear with me, get to the darn link. There's a 30% coupon off on it on Amazon, so that'd be it's like $35 or whatever. Let's see if I can get to the no, I don't want Rufus, I just want my share button. Give me a moment here, and hang on a second. I'm going to pause my audio so I can say shout up at my wife. Sweetie, how are you? I'm live on the internet. All right. Okay, bear with me. There's an affiliate link I'm trying to get to put this up with, and for some reason it's not showing me the well, fuck it doesn't really matter. Put the link up here. Let's see if it does. So how can I add private chat? I'll put there. So okay, right? So that's what I'm using, just the eMeet 4K, right?
The C960?
It says, no, it's eMeet Nova 4K. I just put a link on the private chat. Did it show? How can I get into the chat? How did you put this? So you put a link up. So I put a private chat.
I got you.
Did you see it?
I'm clicking on it. But I think you want to put that in the public chat, right?
Well, I don't have access to the public chat. I'm like, that's what I was just looking for. Where's the, I don't see.
Randy.
Yo, what's up?
I am on a webcast.
Okay.
But are you going to be around?
In and out. You want to talk tomorrow?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you're in conversation with Josh.
I just pinged him and said, hey, I'd like to talk tomorrow about home rental and car insurance.
Good.
If you have time, if not, let me know what works for you.
Well, I'm going to deal with 1211 Main until I give it back to you.
Okay.
And I will call you and yak a little bit later on.
Okay, yeah, I'm just in and out. May or may not have a phone with me. If we go on the dog walk, no phone.
No, I love you. Keep track of those steps, buddy.
What's that?
Keep track of those steps.
I don't know how. I don't have something with me.
Well, you go buy something at Best Buy, but hit up Amazon or do what you do.
Yeah, I need to. Okay.
Because Burrell's going to get out on the step challenge too.
That's not fair. He's already way ahead.
Well, we'll catch up.
Okay.
All right. Take care, buddy.
All right. Talk to you later.
Tony.
Yeah. So back with you, and but I don't know where. I still don't know how to get into a leave to chat live. It says private chat.
Which I got.
And then how do I do a public chat? How do I get over here? Messages from audience are here. I got a test chat from
Tell you what,
Sure.
Tony, while you're trying to figure a couple of these things out, I'm going to take a 3-minute break.
Yeah, okay.
Nature's calling and I can't do anything about it. but I will be right back.
Okay. Three 6540. Hmm. 900361. 9000361. Okay. Hmm. Well, I don't know any idea. So apparently, Amazon. Okay, now I don't have a way. What the fuck? What's going on with this? Um. Move. All right, let's just get this.
We have lost a couple by half a point. Well, hey, listen, I've got a YouTube live I'm doing, and I was taking a bathroom break, so let me call you back. Are you going to be around this afternoon?
Okay, I'm around just building outdoor furniture.
All right, I'll text you back when I talk to Sarah.
Okay, sounds good.
Take care. Tony.
Okay, so I think the deal is to chat publicly. I got to get here and find you on YouTube because I can only send a private chat once I'm a guest. So I'm going to Mark Hope. Find out where you are. YouTube.com. Is it just Mark Hope? Mark Hope.
Yeah, I think it's Mark Hope 9930, something like that.
Which is going to cause a feedback loop. Okay, so it doesn't find me. Can you chat me? Send me your YouTube page link through the
Yes.
Restream chat. So
Yeah.
now the quality of your picture. So I can only, you're only getting 720p from me too. That's a Restream limitation.
Oh,
It's,
but yours
so
looks so much better. What do I do?
well, I think yours, it's because your camera, well, I think your camera is a little bit obsolete. I think it's probably worth the $35 to upgrade to a little better camera, you know, a little 4K. But mine's a combination of the light, right? I've got so I don't know what you're using for a light. Roll your camera around so I can see your room.
Well, I got this here. I don't have a lot of cord, but that's a little square LED pointing
Well,
at
yeah,
me.
that should work.
And I got these lights in the ceiling on right now, and then a light behind me. But I just don't think I had the right mixture.
Well, turn the ceiling lights off and let's see what happens. Because I have a hunch.
Let me send you this. Can you see the? All right, I'm going to send you this in private chat. You get that?
Okay, so, yeah, I got that. All right, there we go. Yeah, so it's delaying here, but now I should be able to chat. What the? There we go. Live, join the chat. Open the panel.
Well,
I think you got to turn.
Post chat to some formats. Oh, I know what's going on.
I got the chat now. Hang on.
I'm going to turn off LinkedIn.
Oh, you're streaming to LinkedIn too?
Yeah, and I'm turning that off.
Why isn't this letting me chat?
Okay, now it should, because it said LinkedIn doesn't allow reply.
Okay,
So try to type some in the chat now.
I'm gonna
It's
switch
only YouTube.
accounts. It's got me. I've got the same problem where I have my real estate account locked in. So bear with me here.
Oh, you're shutting down your stuff?
Oh well, I have the same problem where it was my YouTube was I have AVP broker, and I just signed into my Tony Fowl, right? So there I am there. So if I go to the YouTube there, and then I should now I see us, and we're delaying. And now if I hit the chat, it's not letting me. There we go. No, I did something. Well, something came through. I don't exactly know what. No, it's not letting me put a link. What the hell? Let's try this. So it's a Novo Cam 4K. All right, so it doesn't let me put a link in the chat is the thing. All right, so that answers that question. Let me try it again. Copy link. Let's see what it does.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, there we go.
NovoCam
Okay.
4K.
Yeah, NovoCam, and I was able to put the short link in there. So, boom. So that's
And now I'm
how that
responding to you
happens.
in the chat.
Yeah, in chat, and we can carry on the private. Now, you look good. Now the thing is, somewhere on your computer, you should have a control for your camera, right? And on mine, there's an app called eLink that
So
is
let me see if
adjusting
I
the
can
camera.
do web.
Let me show you. Right now, I'm gonna adjust my camera with the camera app and watch what happens. See? So you should have a camera app of some sort on your computer, so that it looks a lot better without the overhead lights. That was causing some feedback or some um, what you would call it, interference or flares.
Gotcha.
There we go. Um, so it looks a lot better. I just think you need to up the brightness and the contrast a little bit, and then you should be You should be gold, because right now it's looking pretty good. You know.
Well, I wonder if I just go to settings in my computer.
It should be an app that works with the phone. It should say like Logitech camera or something like that. You know.
Well, I'm not on the phone.
No, on the computer. So when you install it should be some sort of a control. Like when you get the eMeet camera, right? That's going to give you a control panel like I just was able to dial, right? But you look right now, you look fine. I mean, you froze, but I don't know whether that's the stream or so. And I've got my camera like all hooked up, so I'm like looking weird ways when I'm looking at the screen.
Well,
So
let
yeah,
me
you just want to be able to brighten up your image a little bit. And I've got two levels of control because I'm running through a separate software called Ecamm, which is now why am I reversed? Or am I why the hell am I reversed? Wait a minute. What the hell is going on with this? Why did it reverse me? Oh, virtual cam, right? Okay, so where's the settings? All right, so fine. I will mirror. Now, what the hell's that about?
I'm downloading a driver.
Where are my settings? All right, so yeah, okay, mirror camera. Do not mirror the camera. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that decided to go out and set itself up. There we go. Yeah, I got this little cheap tripod follow me thing.
Oh, is that your gimbal?
No, I got the it's a this is the gimbal. Oh shit. This is a little cheap piece of junk I got off of TikTok. Well, it's not junk. It's auto face tracking thing, and I put it on a pole on there, and then so it just follows me if I'm moving in my chair and stuff, right? Which I had like there were times in the old live stream I'd be like, moving out of the movie, So, but this sort of it's not very smooth. Like the gimbal would be a whole heck of a lot smoother. Let me see if I can turn this on. I love this gimbal, man. I'm still learning how to use it. But man, is it just the best dang thing.
Yeah, I saw that when you did your thing.
Yeah. I mean, for standing up and doing stuff and so let's see, where am I? Yeah, it's like,
Well, I'm trying to get the software for this Logitech.
Yeah, right.
But what I really want to do is I want you to send me okay, I'm in the settings. I really should share my screen. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to share the screen.
See, there we go. That's back.
Okay, so I'm going to figure out how to put this Logitech thing I'm dealing with over here. Now you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so 920 support, 60 hertz.
So you don't have any controls. How can I make my restream picture full frame here?
Yeah, I think this is just an old camera.
Well, let's see. There should be ways to adjust the image in there somewhere. I got full stream here. So go back. Let me see have you opened the software?
Yeah, and there was nothing there, and I don't want to futz with it because I got to call my accountant. So
okay.
We may call this a good start. But what I want you to do, Tony, is I want you to send me a list of all the things in your TikTok shop that you think I should have, and I'm gonna buy what you're recommending in the shop because I want to be utilizing all of this stuff when I teach my clients, and when they want to go get their gear, you're an expert at it, and we can do shows on how to use this stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I have put that together already. Now where's my chat? Private chat. Now here's the thing. It's not coming from TikTok shop. It's coming from Amazon, which, all right, where the heck's the private? Where did my chat go? Private chat. Okay, there we go. So I have a thing called Linktree, and in there it says for content creators, and that list of things that you need is in there. Right
on your
now.
TikTok channel?
What's that?
On your TikTok channel?
No, it's the link I just sent you.
Oh, Linktree.
So that,
But
yeah,
you
now,
have that in your bio, right?
yeah, I have it in the bio, but I just sent it to you here in
No, I
private
got
chat.
you, but it should be in all your bios too.
Right, right. No, I do. But on my TikTok showcase, I bury the link tree because I'll get a violation if I'm sending people off the site when I'm an affiliate. So
Oh,
I have
gotcha.
it. I have it on my other one. I have it on my YouTube channel, and then within the TikTok shop, you can look at the links on the link tree and then look on my TikTok shop and see which one's cheaper and kind of order it either way. Now, I have to get my affiliate turned back on because those were the link tree was all, which I just discovered when I was trying to send you a link. I'm like, what the hell? Where the hell did my Amazon affiliate link go? And so all of these links that were in Linktree were set for the Amazon affiliate. Now it's still, yeah, it still takes you there. So life is pretty good. So in some cases, it's going to be cheaper on TikTok Shop, and in other cases, it's going to be cheaper in um, the Amazon. And I'll tell you,
Well,
there's
I
like,
already bought the Magic John car thing.
yeah,
I'm really happy with that.
yeah, no, I'm good. Actually, yeah, for this content creators, um, there is like you'll see there's two choices of the same mics, right? Twice, right? But they're kind of in the order of the microphones are like the first ones you see are the best ones. These, bar none, the best ones.
Well, your
The,
webcam that you suggested to me is not on this content creator thing.
it is down. It is below in the. Hang on. I have it below in the. Shit. It says other hot tickets. So come on, links. Shop.
Other hot tickets.
So
okay.
yeah, other hot tickets.
eMeet Nova.
Yeah, the 4K Nova. That's what I'm using here.
I'm buying it.
I mean,
and that way you can walk me through it. The key here is we can help all of our kidney warriors because you're using it, I'm using it, and we
well, and the thing is, it's cheap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no point.
I like that. No, I like that.
You're streaming to the web for $35. I mean, yeah, there's probably better cameras where it wouldn't burn out up top and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's cheap, it's clear. For me, the hot setup was be able to have something that will autofocus, right, and adjust the stuff and do its thing, and it's for the internet. Compared to like this is a $3,000 camera. Back in the day, let's see, it's supposed to switch, right? And it's like, okay, it's a softer image. It kind of has this other thing going on, but you know what? It is not. It's not as good as my other camera, or that cheap. This is $3,000 camera here, right? A DSLR, right? That I still can't adjust, and my computer won't talk to, versus, $35 camera here. I mean, what do you want to do? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just paid $59.
What's that? Yours was $59?
Yeah.
There's a coupon. It should be on the Amazon thing. It should be there's a coupon to apply 30%, and then
wow.
So
I don't care.
Yeah.
I got
Okay.
it coming in.
Yeah. Right on. Right on. No, and now I will tell you one thing. The microphone on this thing is a piece of shit. I couldn't use it. I couldn't even use it. It's horrible, right? So you just make sure you've got another mic, or you've got your desktop mic, right? So
I've got a
streaming,
Yeti,
yeah, you're fine. And then and you got a light working on your face, and that's looking pretty good. And then just being able to control the camera a little bit and adjust the whiteness.
Says it's going to have my new webcam in here in a day. You know how Amazon is. So
I tell you what, yeah.
I'm going to take away this overlay. But I think we got a lot of stuff accomplished, Tony. I'm going to change these mics and then or these cams, and we'll see what happens. And maybe you and I can do a show tomorrow and do, you know,
tomorrow's going to be tough for me. I'm actually doing this notary stuff in the morning, and then I've got
notary.
Notary. Yeah, it was like I do signings for the.
Oh, you're a notary.
Well, yeah, but they just bring me on as a witness, you know.
Gotcha.
And I want to show you something here before we hang up, if you have time. Where did my iPhone camera go? How the hell can I do this? That thing that I showed you. Actually, let me see it. Why can't I get add a camera? Let's get here. Camera. Give me the camera. Go to the iPhone camera. Yeah, I don't know why I lost my ability to do my iPhone camera. Let me see if I can cheat this and see if you can see it. All right, so let's see. Do you see on my iPhone here? I'm pointing my finger, and this is the webcam right here that I've turned sideways on this bracket that I put on this little thing here. So I've got a vertical mode on it. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what is, and as I turn, it will turn with me. That's how I have the camera rigged. So when you get your camera in, I have mine turned vertically. I have software that allows me to rotate the image and stuff and feed it. In your case, since you're working, you probably are just going to clip it on the top part of your computer, right? And it will work fine. I gotta tell you, when I first got it, I was like, this thing can't be all that great. I only paid $35 or something for it. I'm just like, damn, man. You know,
And that's the
eMeet 4K. The what?
Are you talking about the camera or the mixer or the tripod, or what are you talking about?
The camera. The camera.
Okay.
The tripod thing, and let's see, it's kind of and I did it because I needed to do vertical, and sometimes I needed to show stuff for TikTok, and I'm still trying to get that. It's a bummer on TikTok that we can't use the desktop to stream. You know, I'm just like, what the hell are they thinking?
Well, Tony, I think what we're going to do is we're going to create things on TikTok, and then we're going to move to YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is the better thing to do from a marketing standpoint. We tease it on TikTok, and then we do full shows on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They may shut down TikTok.
Well, that's,
I mean, you know how that is.
And I tell you something, I put a little rant up there. You know, I mean, TikTok, real polished on the front end, but their back end, man, their support sucks. Half their stuff doesn't work. You don't have a mirror function on your camera. You can't get a hold of anybody when you have an issue. I mean, there are issues with TikTok, and it's like, I'm like,
guess what else there's issues with? Google.
What's that? Well,
Google has charged me thousands of dollars, and I can't get a hold of somebody to get things shut off. I had to shut off a credit card one time just to get them to stop charging me $119 a month, because there's no one to talk to at Google.
Oh, well, this is a problem with all the tech companies. And, you know, I'm like getting ready to start a letter campaign to some representatives and say, you know, first of all, I am not a fan of government stepping in on anything, right? But in this case, I'm like, you know, tech companies, if you are going to operate here, you need to be like the airlines, where we need to be able to call and talk to somebody and not have some AI chat and some other bullshit that takes you around in circles. And let me tell you something. When I was working for one of the old phone companies, they had a whole department that was intentionally set, they would intentionally set up barriers for the consumer, right? So that you had to go through these 8 or 10 layers, right, before you could actually get to somebody, so that it would like get people to give up. Now I'm telling you what, man, that is like unfair business practices. Businesses need to be able to support their customers. If we treated our customers the way we get treated, Mark, we would be out of business. Pure and simply, right? It's like I made the example the other day. It's like, you know what? I had a question about, um, can I, if I have a Printify shop on TikTok, can I also link other products, right? Well, they sent me a link that's to something unrelevant, not even related, right? It's like, well, here's how you set up a Shopify account. I'm like, no, that wasn't my question. Nobody even read it, you know? And I'm like, and it would be like somebody calling up me, how much would my house sell for? And I'd be like, oh, well, houses sell almost every day of the week throughout the United States would be my answer, right? And that's how their AI works. And I'm like, your AI is stupid. Your AI is a moron, man. Your AI, it's supposed to self-learn. Well, it needs about a decade or 14 years of self-learning before you should put it in charge of your support. Anyway, so yeah, a little
Well,
passionate
I
about
had a
that.
group on Facebook with 500,000 followers, and it was supporting senior citizens.
Yeah, right.
And it gave them an outlet into the world. And we didn't allow politics. We didn't allow any hate speech or negativity. And right before the election, they killed my group. They gave it to
Yep.
some foreigner and made it, and then they shut down my account. They took my Facebook account and banned my phone number and everything. And I asked them, why did you do this? And they sent me to their, terms and conditions thing. They didn't tell me why. They didn't give me any evidence why. They don't care.
I would get these violations, right, on some of these. TikTok put up a thing where you could put up 2 products, right? So I had 2 products that would integrate, and I showed them both, and then they started violating and pulling my videos. And so then I would say, well, what's the problem here? Because you were the ones that said, you gave me the ability to link both products, and so I link both products, I show both products, and then you banned me for showing both products. Of course, I'm not talking to there's no phone number. There's nobody you're talking to. You're talking to, like I said, a moron AI. It's like, it's not even AI. I mean, Chat GPT is better, right? I don't know what TikTok's using, but they need a new one. I'm just like, but Google's the same way, Facebook's the same way, YouTube, all of them, man. It's like, no, you need to do what the airlines do. We need to be able to talk to somebody. Now, even if it's 4 hours for them to call back, I'd take that any day over going around in these loops, right? They send you on this circular loop where you're not getting anywhere. You just finally give up. Kind of like the way they set up Medicare. Just like you just get to a point, you're like, throw your hands up, pay it, and move on, But it really is. And yet the government goes after the real estate industry, right, for colluding and doing this and unfair business practices. All thing. It's like, have you had to deal with a tech company lately? I mean, at any rate, gets my blood boiling. Yeah, so sorry to hear about yours. Yeah,
But it's Facebook makes you think that you're getting reach, and unless you pay, you don't get reach.
And
I have personal friends. I have 6,000 followers on Facebook.
Yep.
And I have personal friends that follow me on there, and they don't see half my content. Like, I was in for a kidney transplant. Oh, I didn't see that. I was on Facebook. Facebook doesn't show it to you unless you pay.
Unless you pay to play, and fine, that's a business model. I got it. But and I run.
You can't show us shadow and charge us. It's like Prime. Oh, with your membership, you get all these movies for free. Oh, wait a minute, we're going to put commercials in them. It's like that's not what you promised us.
Well, exactly, and again, but they know, and there's 2 things, right, that they do. they'll like do whatever they want, right? And then the second part is, so what? You're going to try to sue us? There's no way. Nobody has enough money to go after these things. The only people who would be like a Department of Justice, and they don't know. I'm sorry, man. They don't know what the issue is, man. But no, it is really. And again, I don't want to be, because I'm like with Milton Friedman, man. If the government was in charge of the desert or the sand in the Sahara, would be out of sync, you know. But in this case, I'm like, we got to have some guidelines, because the tech companies, they're mining our data, they're doing all of this other stuff, right? They are unchecked for the most part. They are unchecked and unregulated, and we have, as a consumer, zero recourse. We are not. We are the product for the tech companies, right? We're not a client. We're the product, and it just really is.
Which I'm fine with, Tony, because at my situation in life, I just don't care.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
If some young ears hear what we're talking about, and they can go fight that,
well,
that's
the
great.
thing is, if they can understand that it is an ethics issue, and it's like, no, this is not how you treat the consumer. This is just not, And I think that if there is some young bucks that could say, yeah, man, this isn't right, and some bean counters out of the way, that it's like, but they need to be told. If you're going to be operating a business, you have to have some level of customer support. That's not AI and automated or some bogus thing where you just set it up so it's like support, non-support. All right, so you can say you're giving support, but you're not giving support.
I'm with you about not involving the government in things.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to find is the social media is going to use the good old marketplace. And once one of these guys starts providing this service, the other ones will go out of business. Like if X turns from, purely political to, a more Facebook type platform.
Yep.
And they start providing customer service. You're going to see people leave Facebook in droves.
Well, right.
Never get back.
Well, and that's the thing, but right now they're all kind of living off of the built-in business, and it's like anything else. When you don't have to earn your business or support your customers and stuff, well, then the consumer is the one that's getting abused, right? And which is funny, because that was the false charge they made against the real estate industry, right? Which we bust our butt to make sure our people get taken care of, because they don't refer us otherwise. But that, be that as it may, and meanwhile you got these tech companies running amok, and it's going to take, like you said, I'm looking forward to an X or somebody saying, yeah, you know what, we can, you can call and talk to a person, man. I mean, I don't know why that is such a historic concept.
Deal. What you need to do is have an Amazon Prime type model where you have to pay $100 a year to belong to it. They guarantee there's not going to be all these predators on there, and all these bot accounts, and because Facebook is primarily a boomers hangout. The old people understand it, and the target marketing age on Facebook is 40 to 65. The young people are not on Facebook. They don't care.
Right.
And if you made a safe haven for boomers, and you made a parsed up social media where you had keywords and you said, I don't want politics, I don't want sexual, I don't want whatever, then Granny could have the pictures of the grandkids that she wants.
Customize your
not a hard thing to do.
customize your own feed, and yeah, if you want the algorithm to help you, that's your choice. But but yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Let me ask you: are you working off of a PC or a Mac? With
PC.
a PC. Um,
Are you
the
on a Mac?
I am on a Mac, and the reason I bring that up is there is a, and I don't know if Ecamm has made a PC version. Uh, it may just be for the Mac. Do you have a Mac?
I
Yeah, just
don't.
for them. You don't? Okay.
I've had them
Uh,
in the past, but
I use a software called Ecamm, and that's what allows me to have the multiple cameras here and switch back and forth. And that's how I was doing all my live streams and all that stuff, And I'm running the 4K camera into the Ecamm so that I can like zoom in, zoom out if I want, And I'm doing that through the Ecamm software. I don't know what the equivalent for the PC is. It might be Restream uh, desktop, but I think you're going through a browser. Or how are you? Do you have a Restream app that you're using that's sending this? Or are you logging on to Restream on a browser?
it's a browser.
It's a browser. Because somewhere along the way, the camera controls you'll get with the eMeet are going to control light, white balance, brightness, contrast, right? As far as being able to zoom
But
in or zoom
let me
out.
be honest with you about what my goals are. And I want to just have a passable product that I can get my message out and I can help my kidney warriors.
Yeah.
And I don't care about any of this other stuff. I just got a kidney transplant 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't want to learn any of this. I want you to be in charge of it. You're an expert already. I'm going to refer all my guys to you, and I want you to make a little bit of money.
Sure.
I want you to teach a class, and I want you to offer the products that they need, and it'll help them. And that's what we're all about at Kidney Class.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And they need to create their own content. I'm doing. You're going to make me throw up if you keep doing this.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to get back to where I was here. No, I got you. But here's the only reason I was bringing this other stuff up was that 4K camera you're going to get is going to be. That's what I was trying to show you. It's going to be giving you a much wider. See how the shot is much wider. And so by having the ability to zoom in, you are going to be able to, that way you can position yourself on this.
Well, I'll get the camera and then you can teach me just like the kidney warriors.
Yeah.
I want to be able to give them free support, but if they want to pay somebody to set it all up, I'm going to have a new marketing company that we're going to be working with called Action Discount AI.
Right on.
And they're going to do all of the, the marketing if people want to pay for it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. The thing is, and I don't know if I don't know what kind of camera controls your Restream gives you is the big question. But I do know that when we were doing our live stream, they had a desktop app that I was using, but I just used Ecamm because it was doing the same thing. The only thing I needed Restream for was to stream to YouTube and Facebook and 2 other people's Facebooks at the same time. We were sending the stream out to the 4 participants' Facebook pages or YouTube at the same time.
My big problem right now is I have a lot of work to do, and I'm still, healing. And I tried to change my keyboard the other day, and I almost wanted to just jump in a lake because now my computer didn't work. And I'm trying to file my taxes, And I'm like, why did you screw this up before you got your taxes in? And it's like, I don't need to futz with anything. This is working. It's not working well, but it's working. And, later when we don't care, I'll buy a Mac notebook and we'll get the whole thing. And I don't care, but I need to keep functional. I'm buying homes. I'm trying to get them rented. And it's crazy.
Just so you know, if somebody has a trouble or you have trouble on the PC, that's like Greek to me. I'm like, well, I should have something, and I can kind of maybe muddle through it if I can see what's on the screen, just from some basics. But
problem is, a lot of my kidney warriors don't have.
They're all on a PC. Everybody's on the PC,
but they don't have cash enough to buy. They don't have that Tony Fowl money.
Well, I tell you what, Tony Fowl broke money, man. I did the budget plan on all of this stuff. I mean, like these things, man, I did on Black Friday when it was 70% off. There's no way I would pop for this stuff, but I was like, at $7, how am I going to turn that down? You know what I'm saying? But no, once you get once you can figure out how to get your picture.
Small chunks, and you and I will do these little things, and then we'll get to our counterpoint.
Yeah, if we need to.
We'll do that because the real estate industry is going to change.
Well, dude, let me tell you, I got into a banter and put up a video response to a guy today about some stuff, and here's the thing, man, my blood pressure was like shooting through the roof. I spent half the morning pissed off, and so that's what I'm thinking, man. Let's do stuff that's fun. Let's talk about equipment, talk about helping your buddies get kidneys and stuff, but I got the real estate thing.
I love it.
It just is like I'm like 65 years old. Why do I want to spend half my day being pissed off about what things are going, how things are changing, and I've got a resentment over the fact that I've had now like two careers, right, that have been basically put out of business or stifled due to other people meddling in them, and I'm just like, I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm just like, what? I busted my ass in everything I ever did. But right now, if I'm going to bust my ass, I'd rather help your guys, find a donor, do some stuff, share the knowledge I've got, have some fun things. I don't know if you saw my little chef guy on TikTok, my little Italian guy.
I thought it was awesome.
I'm like, well, you know what? It's just me in there. Okay, so nobody's bought it. It's not getting the 10,000 million views, but I'm like, you know what? So what? It will eventually. But again,
Tony, what I want to do is teach people how to get good by doing good. And if we are helping people and then we can monetize it, that's a home run because they're winning, you're winning, everybody's winning. And if you did your chef gig and then featured one restaurant in Colorado that you do a little ad for, it would be fabulous.
Well, and here was my thinking, because there's people that do that, and my thinking is this: I'm just gonna do this stuff, and I have people now approaching me, right? They're like, "Would you
absolutely, brother,
represent the watch bands or stuff like that?" And I'm like, "That's good." Because I don't want to go out and, I'm like, well, yeah, if it's something I can do, good, and I don't have to do it, and that's cool. But here's the thing. I'm 65, and you probably have a good handle on this too, considering what you just went through. My days are numbered, right?
Yep.
I got diabetes, I got high blood pressure, I got other issues that are going on, I got aortal stent, I've got issues, right? And so I am not going to waste the next 10 to 15 years that I have being unhappy, and I had to get reminded of that when I just responded to the guy this morning. I'm like, dude, here's the thing. The issue was about offering a commission or not. And I go, well, he's in a lower price market where he had people competing and guys were throwing in their commission and stuff. And I'm just like, well, but that's not here, man. I mean, here it's like, The inventory is 2-to-1. Buyers have choices. Buyers are saying they're going to go someplace where, you know, there's even a chance that they might have to pay in a price and pay their broker. Anyway, so just getting that
Dude,
gets me all
no
hyperventilated.
No one is buying a house right now. When it's
That's the
7%
thing.
interest, they can't afford it. You know, you got a
That's what I'm saying.
$700,000 house, and
Yeah.
what's your house payment? $5,500.
And so when you
And they're
do
doing
have something-
layoffs all over the place. We're in a recession. No one's buying a house.
And here's the thing. As I was trying to explain to this agent, I'm just like, dude, I didn't even get to that point because the video would have been too long. But I said, but the point is when you're in a market where you don't have the buyers just flowing in, right? You don't want to sit there and abuse them and just say, well, then you better pay your damn agent because we ain't going to pay you and the whole thing. I said, no, you want to make it easy for them to buy your house, you see, and that's how we do it. And but that kind of stuff. Now, whether the commissions are valid and everything, that's a whole separate story for another day. But point is that the subject matter, right, is enough to get my stress level just, and I'm just like, no, man. And
Well,
so every time I have one of
I
those,
have been friends as long as I've been sober.
dude, isn't that right?
You were at the first AA meeting that I ever went to in Highlands Ranch.
Yeah, baby.
And so supportive and such a wonderful guy. And I'm 25 years sober right now.
25.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh my, 20,
I'll tell you, you know, we've learned to do a lot of things that we need to learn how to do.
Well, you know, that is true. I will say
one of them is don't let those resentments happen, you know?
Well,
and it's hard.
The problem is going to pick them back up, right? And that's what happens when I go jump back into real estate. I kind of made the decision last August to go try to start doing this stuff, you know? And then when I go back and pick it up, it's just like, man, this is not, I do not want to have to go beg to get paid. I do not want to have to get into these mindless discussions. What's that? What? I missed the first part. What?
No, I'm saying I let go of my real estate license a year ago.
Yeah.
I had it. I did it for 2 years. I gave it a try, and I was like, "This is ridiculous."
Oh, right. Well, in those years you had it, it's just gotten even worse. I got to tell you, the last 2 years, like last year, well, and I was telling this guy, I said, you know, I had 2 of them get away from me because they're like, we just don't think we have to pay anybody, and we don't have to do this, and we don't do that. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, that's cool, but I don't know how to help you, and the values are what they are, and whatever. And so then I watch, I just the whole. And having to deal with, maybe it's just I'm getting old and cranky and starting to smell bad, but man, this younger generation, man, they just don't have manners. They don't know how to respond to you. They don't know how to communicate, and it's just like, listen, man, we didn't show up today because we were. Well, did you think you could call or text so I could let the seller know she could come home? You know, my 85-year-old lady. You know what I'm saying? That kind of crap. You know, and then with the way that they're just I'm like, I went through that in the film business where the industry started changing, you know, and digital came out, and then there's no more of an expert's medium, you know, and that's what's happening with real estate. It's like, it's no longer an expert's profession. It's like now anybody and their mother's out there, and as long as you brown nose and kiss the Department of Justice's ass and play their game and operate as the government says you're supposed to, then you're going to do fine. But I'm like, that's fine. Technology took over the film business, and then what happens? The rates go down. Well, that's what's happening in real estate. Technology is going to take over real estate, and the rates are coming down. That's it.
Here's the thing. I had four homes in Colorado, all of them over $500,000.
Yep.
And I kept 2 of them as rentals. I sold one of them, and I sold my commercial property on owner carry, And
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in the Denver market anymore. And, you know, anybody
don't
that
blame
buys something in Denver is, you know, either has so much money they don't know what to do with themselves, or they're an idiot.
Well, there's the third category, and that's where they have to be here because of family or job or something. But compared to other markets throughout the country, this one is it's just baffling. It's just baffling that there's any activity whatsoever. Now, yeah, it's just baffling.
The problem
I
for me
just
is affordability. You know,
that
oh, I want to be with my grandkids. Okay, well, it's $10,000 a month. Oh, we only make
right.
$2,000 a month. I don't give a fuck how valid your reason is.
No, I know, man.
You are not allowed to live in Colorado. And guess what else? Your grandkids and your kids, move them all to a market where they can thrive.
Let me tell you what, most of my business over the last 2 years, and this is good and bad, was relocating people out of the state. They were selling here for the exact reason.
Yeah.
And now
I'm selling them stuff in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the thing is, they don't provide the type of referrals that I would get over the years. You know, when I would move them into another neighborhood or upsize, downsize. But now, yeah, literally, I would say, at least 80% of everybody that I've worked with in the last 2-3 years was, listings were moving out of state. You know, buyers.
Well, guess what I do? I move them out of state, and they sell their home in Denver, and then I put them in the same exact home they got $450,000 for. I put them into $125,000 rental.
Yeah, right.
I don't ask for any commissions.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I put them in that rental and make sure they decide that they like being there. And then when they buy it, I own or carry. So
nothing wrong with that at all, man.
Well, I get the interest mortgage on it. I give them a lower mortgage. Yeah. And, you know, for guys like you and Mary, you know, we do an LLC where everybody buys a third of it. And then you start on your first one, and then you keep adding them. And, you know, I'm busy all the time, Bob. I'm busy all the time.
No, I imagine so.
And I don't have to beg anybody for anything.
Well, and I got to tell you, that's what do you call it? That's the key for me. Shoot. Now do I hear you? I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got you. And here's a lesson I learned when I was in the film business. When I first started out, man, I was always trying to lower my rate, trying to get the thing. And then I get onto these projects where I wasn't billing full rate, and I was always short, and it was always miserable. And then I was about 32 years old before I sobered up. And I just one day said, you know what? I just doubled my rate from 250 a day to 500 a day. And you know what happened? Dude, I never looked back for 7 years, right? And I was happy because I was getting paid and compensated what I thought I was worth. Later in that decade, I raised my rate and stuff. And so when it starts to go the other way and you're starting to get beat down on your rates, that for me is that's a sign to the exit door, and to try to do something like you're doing, where it's like you got to be independent, because if you're trying to be part of the system's going to beat you up. You got to be your own system, like you're doing. You know, you got to be your own system. That's the only way you can make it work. And the whole thing, which was kind of the motivation for, like, you know what?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And you know, I told Luann when I sold my computer company, I said, I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do ever again in my life. So I became a realtor, hated it, let my license go on ice. I'm still doing real estate, but I'll never be a realtor ever again.
No,
that's the most thankless job. Everybody, you know, rightfully so, doesn't want to pay so much, and that's fine. But it's, you know, they're picking their realtors based on were they the cutest cheerleader in high school, and
or
somebody that's
the
really
cheap, or
invested.
who's the cheapest guy, you know?
Well,
No,
anybody
I
who's
know.
invested in being knowledgeable and good, and not the most popular person, you know,
Yeah, right.
they lose out, and people don't care, you know.
Well, and here's the thing: we're also entering a new era. Like you're right. I think you're a few years behind me, but in my 40s, I was in the hospital and I couldn't walk for like 8 weeks because they did a liver biopsy, and then it was a long story. But the the thing was, it was stress was like leading up to that, and like in my 30s and 40s, and I was in high stressful situations. I mean, I could let that stuff roll off my back, or before I just drank a lot, you know. But as we get older, man, the stress, the what do you call it? The conflict, the stuff that takes a physical toll on our bodies, right? And I don't think that gets talked about enough, man. It's just like the physical toll that you're going to be taking years off of my life, man. And so when you start talking about raising people's blood pressure you're diabetic, you know what happens, man. You go under stress, you can't get your numbers back in line, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just too old for this shit. I'm just too old for this shit, you know. And it has turned into. I had a lot of great years in real estate, helping a lot of people. That's what I loved about it, is helping people, helping their family, getting them together, man. And
It was better before the internet
before the internet, well, before I
because
would
you
say,
were really giving them a good service.
well, and then even when the internet came out, right? Because I evolved from the DOS-based system in the book through the rollout of the internet, where we only had 3 pictures, right? And then or we had 1 picture, then we had 3 pictures, then we had 12 pictures, then we have 40 in Zillow, and stuff. But the thing that changed the most for me was a combination of the technology, and then the appreciation for what is actually happening, because it was like when I was editing for people even a few years ago. So all of the young editors fresh out of college, they had Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut on their computer, right? So they're all editors. You with me? So everybody's an expert because they got it on their computer. You with me? That's what happen in this industry. That's what everybody's like. Well, I'll just go to Zillow and I'll just do that. It's like, well, go ahead and try it. There's a guy in Boulder who's been posting his story every day, man, about it ain't a cakewalk, and more power to him. I hope he actually gets it closed. but but the the point that I found happening to that, and the same thing that's happening in the film business, is like this: you pay your attorney, and they got to write 2 sentences for something in a contract or a clause, right? Now, are you paying them for the 30 seconds it takes them to write the 2 seconds? Or are you paying them for what they know, what they're saving you, what kind of objective they brought you? Which are you paying them for, right? Because but the mindset about this industry, and that was also in the film business, was, oh well, you only worked 30 minutes on this. I'm like, well, yeah, but in that 30 minutes, I created something that sold 100,000 products for you guys because I knew what words to say. Same with real estate. So yeah, maybe I sold it pretty fast, but you know what? I got you more money and the whole thing. And so, what are you doing? Keeping track of we're getting paid for, like we're working at McDonald's or punching a clock. I mean, is that how you want it to be? And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, no.
In my other life, I was in the car business.
Yeah, right.
And we used to tell a story about an old guy that the guy brings in his car and it won't run right. It stutters and everything. And the old guy opens the hood. He listens to it for a minute. Then he takes a screwdriver and he adjusts a screw on the carburetor half a turn. and the
Yeah.
car just flattens out and it's running like just a pure thing. Everything's fixed. And the guy says, "How much
Swiss
is
watch,
that?"
baby.
He he says it's $125. $125? All you did was turn one screw a half a turn. He said, no. I'm charging you $5 to
Turn the screw.
turn the screw. The $120 is knowing which screw to turn and how far to turn it.
How far to turn? Well, and it's so true. But that is one of the biggest things that actually it's the counterpoint to that. That is being used to turn on people that otherwise have been doing a great job serving the people, and their people don't like. Nobody I ever served ever complained. I had people say, "You know what? We wish we could have paid you more." Right? And that was my motto, man. They work so hard that they feel guilty that I'm only making so little, you know? And that's just the way I roll, man. But the point is those times are changing, and it's like everything else, man. There's a long road of surrender to get to before it's like, well, this might fix itself, this might right itself, and the whole thing. And it's just like, you know what? I got 15 years left, basically. what do I want to spend it on? You know.
I'm that way, bud, and I don't care. I could work for corporate America or something like that after I get healed up from this kidney failure. And I
Dude,
just
we
don't,
got. Go ahead.
I just don't want to, let them abuse me anymore.
Well, that's that. The other thing I was going to say, we got to get you back in the water, dude. You know.
And now I can.
Well, now you can, man. You
Now
just
I
got to get
can.
cleared by the hyperbaric. And
when I had the peritoneal dialysis,
yeah,
I had an open wound because I had that port coming out, and I couldn't get in the water.
Right.
And now that I've got my new kidney, as soon as I can travel, it's going to be about a year, but I'll be in Cozumel and I'll be diving. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. No, we got to try to figure out a trip, and hopefully by then my little online influencer, maybe Chef Antonio will have
Chef Antonio recommends.
Give a little franchise, man. But you know what's funny? I did that. I came up with that.
Where did you get the jacket with your name on?
Well, my brother-in-law made it for me as kind of a gag because I always was doing the cooking, and we did the family burger bars and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I'm going to get the hat because my sister started this spice line that she's trying to get off the ground. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try to do this. And then for TikTok to get a food product line up, and I couldn't get an answer. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it through TikTok, but I had this chef's hat. So then I looked and I said, well, I wonder if I could just sell these chef's hat. And sure enough, on TikTok, they had the exact hat. And I'm like, so Chef Antonio went downstairs, pulled my little Italian street backdrop, put it up there. And dude, I did 8, and I probably have another one, 8 versions of selling the hat, all extemporaneously, and it was just coming naturally. And I was just like, well, this is what I want. This was the revelation. It's like, this is what I want to do. I'm like, I mean, not necessarily a chef thing and stuff like that, but yeah. So I had the jacket, I had this stuff, and I'm just like, and the shit's funny, man. And I'm like, I haven't sold any hats yet, but it's like it ain't about. And this is one thing I'm finding out, right? Doing this kind of content isn't about actually getting the sales. And if you start putting that as your goal, you're going to fail. My feeling is. I'm thinking it's about getting the content. So at least it's trying to give something and develop something further and try to get better.
Tony, here's the deal in my house. We say, if something is continuously hard and doesn't reap the rewards, God is telling me to go down another river.
Yeah.
And then when you get something and everything works, then you're like, okay, God, this is where I'm supposed to go. And you double down on those things that are working. And it always worked for me that way.
Yep.
Like when I was in real estate, it was continually a pain in the ass. I had to beg people for their listings. And I did all my listings at 1%. It was only a family deal. And they still wouldn't use me. And, you know, it's like, I'm not doing this. And when I got out of it and I started investing in houses as my real estate Jones, I bought a church yesterday, 2,600 square feet, $50,000.
Yeah.
And
No,
I'll
I'll tell
rent
you
it
what,
out for $1,000 a month, and it's all cash, and you know it goes easy.
Right about a year after COVID, you know, when things were just going crazy, everything was overbidding. I was like, I tried to get the other real estate partners together. I said, you know what I want to do? And I had this idea from my family of 11. I'm like, I want to get 11 tiny homes and then build a little commissary on like 35, 40 acres somewhere, right?
I love that.
And then, you know, you get it for the family and then you just rent it out. And then I started thinking, I said, you know what, man, I could like franchise a whole bunch of these old folks, retiring people, tiny home villages, man, on a smaller scale that are like in rural America throughout the country. And then of course I started a business plan on it and I did all that stuff. And then it just started getting more complicated. And it's like, okay, well, how do you deed the things? And then I was like, this is giving me more of a headache.
But a mobile home park.
That's
my brothers and I will buy a mobile home park.
Yep.
And what we're going to do is we're going to section it into different sections.
Yep.
You know, an over 55, a luxury section. We're going to have, you know, and they're going to bring their own homes. We're just going to have, you know, the pad sites and the management to allow for it to be a little bit higher end. But one of the things I was talking to my brother about is they're having to redo the septic system. And he's at Cora, and that's a little camping, and they call them whatever the little houses are. I don't know what they call them. It's essentially a mobile home, but it's a park model. And he told me that their HOA is redoing the septic system, and they're at $200,000, and they don't see an end in sight.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to tell my partners to do. We have to inspect make sure it's on city services, not a septic tank, and you know, I mean, because some of that gets out of line quick.
Well, I tell you what, you're on the right mode, and this is why I said this 5 years ago. I said the population is aging. Now, you got the tail end of the boomers and the people we're like the older Gen X, right? So we're not quite boomers, but
I'm a
tail
boomer.
end of the boomers. What's that? Depends what years you use, right? But
it's 1947 to 1965. You, my friend, are a boomer.
Well, they have a demo, right? But 58 to 65, we're actually called Generation Jones because we don't have anything in common with
I've heard about Jones, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, but point is that bracket, that demo, right, is they are the first generation, right, that is in a situation where retirement is going to mean you have to leave your Denver, your Chicago, your Dallas, your Houston, because you can't downsize to a place, right, that you can afford in retirement. That's why these little mobile home parks, these little tiny home communities, the place like the Villages down in Florida that's doing it, but those are going to be the saving grace for that population. But for real estate developers, that's what they got to be thinking. Now, there was an outfit that was way onto this with patio homes and Highlands Ranch and stuff. And I'm like, the thing is with the people that are in our generation, dude, is that they want the ranch style home, but they still don't want to be into too small of a space, but they would take a smaller space, but they don't want to have that we're faced with, 10,000 a year in property taxes and endless insurance regulations, da 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 da. Whereas, okay, mobile home sites, you can put a steel home on there. A mobile home in itself, man, it's like, okay, put enough away that if the tornado comes through, you can buy another mobile home. Insure the personal contents like a townhome. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of benefits, and I think that that's really kind of where we're going to see as the population ages and moves out of the urban areas. I think we're going to see these things springing up. Now, I might be a visionary, I might be on an acid trip, whatever, but that's what I was thinking. I was just like, well, it's just like the same. Mary and I can't be the only ones that were going through this thought process. It's like, well, our retirement mine got wiped out back in the tech bust. And so we're trying to rebuild things. We weren't doing so good. So the best thing we have is like a little equity in our house. Can't really move within this market. So what are we going to do? We got to move to a place where we can go in and pay cash or something. But, where the property taxes are low, that's within an hour of major medical, so you got to kind of be around. You can't be in podunk nowhere in the middle of Kansas. It ain't going to work. But
I'll tell you what, Luann and I, why we moved to Oklahoma is because we plan to be away from our home 1 month out of every quarter.
Yeah, right.
So our home is like our home base. And then if we want to go to Cozumel, we want to go for a month.
Yep.
And if we want to go to Arizona, we want to go for a month.
Yep.
And we'll just rent an Airbnb for a month at a time. And so our regular house is not that big a deal to us.
Right.
It's just a place where we hang out when we're not living our lives,
Yep.
And that's the important thing.
Yeah. Well, no, man, this is all good stuff, and I love that mobile home park. I don't know. I just I'm just I'm waiting to when we can connect with a couple of your guys and try to get them hooked up with the right stuff and getting their content together.
Well, I'm working on it every day, so you give me a shout when you want to do another live.
Yeah.
And we'll solve the problems of the world.
Well, we got you got a camera coming in, so just ping me when you got that in and running, and then we'll find another window to powwow like this. And
hey, listen, if nobody told you that they love you today, I
love you, baby.
And there isn't a damn thing you can do about that.
Yeah, right on.
So I'm gonna end this stream.